Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and I'm kind of excited because as a kid, Seaspray was one of my absolute favorite characters. I know a lot of people give him a hard time, a lot of people don't think the toy was great, but for some reason I always took him in hand. I think it was because the hovercraft alt mode was something so unique and different. So I'm thrilled to be able to take a look today at the Transformers Titans Return Legend Class Seaspray in the latest GotBot True review, along with some comments about Cosmos. Now this isn't the Legends Cosmo, or sorry, the Titans Return Cosmos. It is the Generations one, but I'm going to kind of explain why I have that one here, and I am going to grade the new one when we look at everything to do with both of these guys. That's right, it's a 2-for-1 in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor. Check me out everywhere. Spend some time on the channel. See what it is that catches your interest. Everything here from stop motions, Universal Collision Season 1 is up, to reviews, to tutorials. Check out a little interview I did on cbc.ca. And while you're at it, a shout out now to Dolcar Toys and Stuff, 2Ks in Dolcar if you're searching them up. I was very honored to be asked and to get to participate in his Reviewer Revered series, and he's had some great ones. Some really great ones, certainly worth checking out. But if you want kind of some more insight into me and how my mind works, check that out. It was very insightful for me as well. Anyway, into these two guys. I'm gonna start off first and foremost with Cosmos because I've already reviewed him. I took a look at Cosmos back in episode 146 along with Payload, his little Target Master partner. So I'm going to kind of give a quick overview of what I said there and what an update is with the Titans Return one, including the paint differences, and give a new overall score for Cosmos. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy out of it and we'll get to him shortly. Cosmos, I had scored the originals paint applications as a 9.75. I thought they were very accurate. Now, I have done a little bit of custom work. Mostly his forearms are now painted yellow. On the Titans Return version, he is overall a darker shade of green than this. The yellow is a little more vibrant. It's more of a canary type of yellow. It's brighter. The head and neck section on the Titans Return version are red. On this one, the head is red, the neck is like a white. The blue windows and the blue on his visor are lighter, a little bit different, just slightly different. On the Titans Return version, he does have yellow forearms. This guy had green, even though I have them painted yellow. His were green. And the new one has a smaller Autobot symbol up on his shoulder. Truth is, I feel like the new Titans Return one is really more like the Japanese version that came out around the same time that this guy did. Probably not exact, but about the same. So if this guy's paint apps were a 9.75, the new one is easily a 10. As a matter of fact, I'm going to score it a 15. It is perfect. It is pretty much a perfect Cosmos. And I think that's a fantastic start. That being said, if you own this version, should you buy the new one? I don't think you need to upgrade to the new one, but if you missed out on this guy, definitely, if you have a choice between the two, get the Titans Return one because it is more accurate. Although, he does not have Titan Master capability or compatibility, and he does not come with his little Target Master partner, Payload. In terms of articulation, well, just to run through that quick, the head, that can go left and right. The arms, they go all the way around. You know, fantastic. The elbows, they bend up nice. Because it's on a ball joint, we have a swivel. The shoulders can go out easily that far. He can kind of get, because of the way his arm is, he can kind of get across his body a little bit. Because of the transformation, he actually has, technically, upper body articulation. It's more like a chest swivel than a waist swivel. The legs can go forward that far, they can go back that far. We have a ball joint that gives us a swivel, we have a knee, and then technically a double knee. Technically a double knee there. The legs can split all the way out to the sides. I mean, he does everything really that you'd want him to do. Honestly, I gave the articulation a 9. I'm still giving it a 9. It might even be higher. It might be a 10. Mine has a slight issue with the mushroom peg. I had to sand it down a little bit because it did pop out. I don't know if that's the case with the new one or not. Probably not. It was probably just a case with my version of the figure. So we have a 15 and we're going to say a 9. Let's go into the transformation and I'll tell you what I scored that when I get this guy done. The transformation, not too bad. It's interesting for something this size. We push the head down. To get him back in robot mode, it is a little tricky to pull it up, but certainly doable. We take the, see if I can remember this because it's been a while since I did this guy. We take the arms and we bring them back. So we take the, I'll show it over here a bit better. We take the forearm here and we bring it back. We take the legs and we fold it up and we fold it up. We take the upper body, we swivel it around. So we just turn the upper body around. We bring the hip hinge, because technically he can also, I guess, look back. We take the hip hinge and we bring it up there. We take the arms and we bring them down, technically now behind his head, behind his body. And they go in and tab into one another. And that thruster piece tabs down there. We take the leg and we turn it out and we turn it out so that we have the yellow highlight on top. I think the new one still does have that yellow highlight, by the way. We fold it in and we fold it in and all of that tabs together and boom, in the end, here you have Cosmos in his little UFO. It's an interesting transformation. Honestly, the transformation is so interesting that I scored it at a 9 to a 9.5. It's still a 9 to a 9.5. In other words, what I'm saying to you is that overall, this guy is pretty much a 10. Yes, he is definitely more, I'll say, muscular looking than we think of when we think of Cosmos, but this mold does everything right. If you're going to revision a character, this is the way to do it. And the Titans Return version is even better than this. If you're on the fence and you're wondering about that version, wonder no more. Get him. He is fantastic. I think you'll be very pleased with him. Very pleased with him. Overall score, 10. If you have the older version, I don't think you need to upgrade. But if the improved paint applications, because that's really all that's different, means enough to you, then I could see the argument for it. It is terrific. What a way for us to go out of the Titans Return line, at least in terms of the Legends class figures. But we still have one Legends class figure to go, and I'm going to take this guy out of it. And that one Legends class figure is Seaspray. So here is, and I'm going to back this up. Here is Seaspray's box art. He is actually in vehicle mode. It says fantasy scene. it's, you know, it's Seaspray as a hovercraft. On the back, of course, we have the stock pictures of them. We have the little bio, if you will, and the little bio really doesn't say anything. No Decepticon can get past the naval defenses of Seaspray. Well, are we shocked that he would have naval defenses? He also, of course, comes with, and sadly I don't have this for Cosmos because I didn't pick up the new one, but here he is with the ever popular collector card. I'm gonna reposition the camera so that we can get a closer look at this. And there you go, right there. I mean, it looks pretty fantastic. It's just the same art that was on the box, but it looks nice. His tech specs are, of course, on the back. No real shock. You know, his strength, he's not the strongest guy, but he's pretty smart. Actually, his intelligence is a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. He's really smart. His speed is pretty good. I would expect that. His fire blast is pretty good. I would also expect that. I think this is largely accurate. Maybe the intelligence is a bit higher, but maybe I am just being blinded by his odd speech patterns. Try as I may and try as I might, I'm probably never exactly going to be professional. You see, this is what happens when your camera stops recording and you don't realize it, and you keep blabbering on for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden you notice that it has stopped and you need to redo everything. Anyway, we're going to go on and take a look now at Seaspray. We've already gone through some of the, you know, peripheral stuff, so this should be pretty quick and easy, I hope. Though there are some interesting things to note here. First, the paint apps. Solid 10 as far as I'm concerned. I've seen pictures of the Japanese release. I feel like that's more bland. It has just dark blue windows instead of black, and it doesn't have the white down on his foot, and it doesn't have what appears to be the tampos on his body. I see why they did it. One could certainly argue, hey, that's more animation accurate, but it's kind of boring, I think. Though I do like the blue that's used on the eyes there. Nevertheless, there is no mistaking that this is Seaspray. It is a pretty fantastic update and representation. So 10. The articulation, well, before we get to that, let's talk about his accessories. Aha! And I use plural there. Why? Good question. We haven't been getting you know, weapon accessories with these guys, except for maybe Braun, who had that back piece that could come off and go in his hand. This guy has a very similar thing. Think of this as like his before picture. He hits the gym, and you know, here it is his after picture. You know, now he's all sporting a six-pack there. This little thing is white, it's painted red on the front, it has an Autobot symbol on it, and there's this little rectangular peg here, and you don't really stick it in his hand. On his wrist there's a little rectangular slot, and this really goes into that slot to become, you know, to become his blaster, I guess. I see the argument for why it looks like a pizza box, you know. This is the guy who comes to your door and says, "Who ordered the anchovy and kelp?" I don't know why anybody would ever want an anchovy and kelp pizza, but hey, people have different tastes. Nevertheless, it's nice that we do have something that we could call a blaster. You can leave it off completely if you're inclined, or you can leave it on the whole time through transformation and everything. But I guess that's kind of not the only accessories we really get, so to speak. This whole body section has been a point of controversy for a couple of reasons. The first is this whole blue piece comes off. There are 4 posts underneath and 4 little holes on this. There's also in the center of it another little hole. Perhaps for a flight stand. The argument has been made that this piece can be removed to allow better Titan Master access. It has also been argued that this is part of some pre-tooling for when this mold goes used for someone else. And it's been argued that this is a clue, a hint to how to integrate a prime master when the time comes. It's also been suggested that, hey, they just molded in the little pieces instead of using glue. So we're going to put his body right back down. Also, in the same actually, we're going to leave that up. Also, in the same breath, this yellow section here behind his head, where the two, like, whatever these things are called, the rotors, this whole yellow section can also be removed. And I'm going to do that now. I'm going to try and do that now. There. That whole yellow section can be removed. I don't know why. Again, there's 4 posts here and pegs. I don't know why you would remove this. He can't hold it in his hand, I don't think. Hold on. Actually, he can. It has a little rectangular groove, and it too can go in that section on his wrist, and then I guess it's another blaster maybe. It has been suggested that, again, this is removable either because they just didn't want to use glue, or because it allows easier access to rotating his head. Anything is possible. That being said, since I have this off, we're going to go into articulation. The head does rotate. It can go all the way around. Quite easily, actually, whether that piece is out or not on mine. So we're going to just put that back in there. Call it, I don't know, call it undocumented feature, I suppose. I'm going to put that back in there and put that down. Okay, so the head can rotate all the way around. The arms, and I'm going to actually take this and put it back on his tummy, because I like it there. The arms can go out about this far. Not ideal. It would be nice if there was a bit of a deeper cut, but I understand why they didn't do it, because having a deeper cut there for that would kind of break up the silhouette in vehicle mode. We have, however, the ability to go all the way around. We have a little over 90 degrees at the elbow. It's on a ball joint, so we get a false bicep swivel. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately. Nothing at the wrist. We can have the legs open that far, but come on, look at the guy's feet and what he needs to carry himself around on. I mean, can you really blame him? Still, it would have been nice if there was a bit of a deeper cut there. There's a thigh swivel. There's a knee bend and a bit of an ankle tilt, but if you open this section out from behind, you get, ankle tilt all the way out. I'm going to just back this up a little bit. Ankle tilt all the way out. So that's basically your articulation in a nutshell. I don't know if I said knee to 90 degrees. It's effective. For the stocky little guy that he is, it's highly effective, and I completely dig it. I really, really do. I'm going to score that at about a 7.5, roughly. About a 7.5. So we have 10 for paint apps, a 7.5 for articulation, and what appears to be a few different accessories that might just be a happy accident. Maybe it's just that pegs were used instead of glue. Maybe it allows ease of access to the head, to Titan Masters. Maybe it's a clue of things to come in the Power of the Primes line. Who knows? So, in terms of size, here he is next to Cosmos. I guess it sort of makes sense I would do this comparison, right? He's your average legend size. We're going to jump into the transformation. We're going to do that next and clue things off here. So, we begin by bringing the arms up and straightening them out. Nothing very complicated yet. We bring this whole body section up, and there's little holes here and little nubs on the arms, and the arms tab in right there on the sides. And really, that's the rear of the vehicle done. In terms of Titan Master integration, this whole yellow section can open up, and a Titan Master can go in here. So I don't know why you need more ease of access to it, but hey, whatever. It's there. I'm not sure why. It just is a thing. Now for the interesting part, but the part that is a little bit frustrating if you don't know what to do. There's a series of kind of zigzag moves here almost, because really what you're doing is opening up these back pieces, and now you're going to sort of collapse everything to get these pieces to line up with these pieces. So we bring down the whole waist first, right? Because when we pull this section out, of course, we pull the entire body out. So we bring down that waist first. Then we technically bring down the toes and bring down the toes. Now what you're looking to do is not at the ankle hinge, but at the knee hinge, you're looking to bend the knee forward. And then at the hip hinge up here, you want to bring the whole hip back up. And then you straighten the toe out again. And now you have a side in there. Over here, bend the knee forward, bend the whole thigh up, and bend the foot forward again. Once you do this and line it all up, you should be able to just tab together his toes. And that's virtually the entire thing done. But I know what you're gonna say. Hey, GotBot, you still have that face staring at you. Well, you have a couple of options there as well. And I'm going to remove this piece for a moment to show them. One, you can simply flip up that little piece and cover it in, which I think is probably what you're supposed to do. Or, if you don't want to fiddle with that, you could just turn the head around. Of course, now you have a screw sticking out, so you might still want to bring that up. You could leave that up and have this, if I can get it now, there you go, back in his tummy. And when you transform him to robot mode, though this white flap is supposed to go down flat, you could always just bring it down and kind of make it part of his chest and tummy section here. That is also an option. It's really kind of versatile, but in the end we get a really kind of cool looking hovercraft vehicle. I totally dig this thing. Transformation is fun and interesting. It is more involved than the original. Like I said, the legs zigzag. That might take a little bit of getting used to, but I'm going to give the transformation a strong 8.5. Honestly, overall, for an update, I think this guy is definitely a solid 8.5. Maybe even higher. I find myself kind of fiddling with them all the time. That being said, at the end of the day, as we bid a fond farewell to the Legends class of the Titans Return line, what do I think of the two figures that they're going out with? Both of them are complete wins. They're absolutely fantastic. I always love this guy, and I think that he's only been improved with the Titans Return line. And Seaspray is one that we've been waiting on a long time. I look forward to seeing what comes in the future as we go into a new era. Anyway, let me know what you think of these guys. Were they wins for you or not? As always, I love it when you share your thoughts with me, and I appreciate you giving me some of your valuable time, and I very much look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit right here inside the videos.